when, sort of years ago when we were trying to revive the association, this was one of the things that we had envisaged, that if the association works and things go well, we should probably get into small groups so that we can, benefit each other much more one-to-one, one-to-many in these ways. So I think, so, that thing has come. So, I am personally a very happy person, and I'm very happy to see, very, very accomplished names over here. IRMANs from across the batches, seniors, juniors, many different generations of IRMANs over here, which makes me happy. And as we have always been a small and cohesive group. Third reason being, obviously, that I am getting my chance to introduce Nidhi, who's been a batchmate, one of my dearest friends from the batch, and also a co-townmate now. And so Nidhi is a co-founder, we are from the batch of PRM 20. PRM 1991 to 2001. So we are so far, and for many, many decades to come, we'll be the only batch that took a century to pass out of IRMA. And Nidhi is a co-founder of Atulya Performance Facilitators. It's a facilitator, and she's a facilitator and a coach using this Causing Incredible Performance framework that she'll be talking to us about. It's a homegrown framework, and it's basically something that allows us to take a quantum jump in performance in our lives. And I've been hearing some very interesting stories about this framework, and so I thought, maybe this is a good chance. And I missed 2 or 3 seminars that happened, and I was supposed to be there. So so I'm basically catching up for all my missed opportunities over here. And her most recent position was with the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. She was working as a senior social sector specialist with the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, where also I think so she applied this framework to great things. Maybe we'll have some stories of that also from you, Nidhi, because I think so those are very inspiring stories, especially in the context they applied. She's also an Ashoka Fellow and International Visitor Leadership Program Fellow. And she's also been a visiting fellow at the Development Management Institute of Patna. In fact, she was heading one of their centers of excellence for a long time, during the initial stages, and she helped it establish at that time. She also co-founded Democracy Connects in 2007. Which was a not-for-profit, sort of working with younger members of parliament and focusing on providing research support to them in their constituency for development. She has experience in working with governments, member of parliaments, academic institutions, NGOs. She has been doing policy and legislative research, leadership training, participatory field research. There's a lot to Nidhi's CV actually. And, in the areas of democracy and development. And apart from her degree at IRMA, she has also a postgraduate degree in economics. And she, was one of the first people who took to Kutch after the earthquake. And she worked very closely in Kutch after the earthquake. And in fact, as I remember it, she is one of the people who were responsible for what we see today as Gujarat State Disaster Management Agency, and now NDMA happening, sort of on the lines of GSDMA. She's also worked in the relief after the tsunami, the Kashmir earthquake, and the Bihar floods in 2008. And, Nidhi and I both live in Kashipur, which is a small town in Uttarakhand. And it's a beautiful place. Any one of you should be willing to be coming here. And, sort of as a bonus, Nidhi supports her husband in running a resort, which is an excellent place for staycation. And I second that. And with that, everybody, I give to you Nidhi, and Nidhi, over to you.
Thank you so much, Vaibhav. It's both a pleasure and an honor to be invited for this talk. Thank you so much, IRMA Alumni Association. And I'm really amazed that how week after week you people organize these talks. Really amazed and really impressed, and also very grateful. Whether we attend it regularly or not, but it's a repository that you're creating, and then one can go back to these videos and listen to the topics that are of our interest. IRMA is, of course, very close to my heart. In fact, some of us are part of a group called IRMA Girls, and our days are spent. It really, having an IRMAn friend and having a group of IRMANs with whom one can share, it is such a pleasure, and one feels so much at home with IRMANs. So I don't know many of you personally, the ones you've joined here. I know Ajay ji. But it's just like, just the name is enough to get a feeling of being at home and a feeling of friendship. So thank you so much for inviting me here. And thank you so much for turning on a Saturday evening to listen to me. I do hope and I will strive to make it useful and worthwhile for you. I have a small presentation with me, which I will share. However, feel free to stop me at any time you have a question. So it doesn't have to go after I finish my presentation that you get to raise your questions. This framework, Causing Incredible Performance, was developed by one of our own, Professor C. Balaji. He taught at IRMA, and senior batches know him quite well. He did not teach me, so I did not know him at that time. However, I met him later in Bihar in 2016 is the time then I met him. He came up with this framework based on his experiences with, he is an HR person. He came up with this thing in course of his experiences in coaching people and helping them achieve something much bigger than what they could have. In fact, he shares many stories when he was at IRMA, and he used to apply some pieces of it. You know, he was sort of putting it together over a course of his life's work. And it is my pleasure to introduce the framework to you. I have been using it now for last 7 years, and I've been coaching people applying this framework for last 3 years now. I have coached over 100 people now. So let me now begin. I'm going to share my screen. If there are any comments or questions at this stage, please feel free to stop me and ask them. I'm going to begin my presentation. Okay, so we are a group of IRMANs. In fact, another partner is also an IRMAN, Neeraj Garg from PRM 18, the three of us who have created this company. We come from a larger commitment that every one of us gets in the habit of causing incredible performance. I mean, all of us have produced extraordinary results in our life at some point or the other. It's not that we haven't, you know, also because we're IRMANs. So it is to get into a habit, meaning to be able to do it repeatedly. So if there was a hack, it is like I look at CIP as a hack to do something repeatedly without having to really, you know, sometimes we produce extraordinary results, but it takes a lot from us. Maybe in terms of peace of mind or health or time for the family. But if there is a hack that lets us do it somewhat easily, then it's a great contribution. It can be a great contribution. It can be a great tool in our portfolio or the things that we have which help us lead a wonderful life. So we come from this larger commitment. And today I'm going to introduce the framework to you so that you understand what it is and where all it can be applied. I have picked out 6 examples for you, 2 from a government program and 4 from different contexts. So far, it's been applied in 770 plus what we call CIP projects. So I'm going to begin with, this is one of our latest applications with the government of Orissa, with their medical doctors at district level and block level. So this doctor, he's based in Koraput, which is a tribal district. His interest was that the women who are pregnant and are anemic, they increase their hemoglobin level. So his focus was on how many pregnant anemic women he will be able to raise the hemoglobin level by 2 points. This was a 3-month project. So medically also somewhere close to 2 or 3 points is what one can raise without actually injecting direct iron in the body. So we have a term called business as usual. So meaning वो 3 महीने कुछ नहीं होगा ऐसा तो नहीं है ना, उसका काम पहले भी चल रहा है, उसका सेटअप पहले से है. So something will anyway happen in 3 months, right? Something will, whether CIP is applied or not applied. So he was sure that about 1,000 women will be able to raise their hemoglobin level by 2 points in that period. And he took on an incredible goal of 4,000 women. So, which is a jump of, it is a jump from 1,000 to 4,000, even in taking on a goal. And he actually achieved 6,235, which is 6 times what he would have ordinarily achieved. And in the same context, same people, same situations, same budgets. So it is in the same context that this person was able to do something that is 6 times what he would have ordinarily done. This another example is from Ujjwala. In fact, I was with Ujjwala program for 5 years, and it got applied during that period. And again, you all may have heard of this, that while the connections were happened very fast, it's the refilling which people had to pay for the refill by themselves. So refill was not taking off in many pockets of the country. So in one state again, ordinarily from a group of about 32 lakh women who were intermittent users, like during 1 year, either they were not filling at all or filling once or twice or thrice. So from this group of people, we were confident that 5 lakh would come back for a refill during a 3-month period. And a goal was taken of 16 lakhs. And finally, what was achieved was 17.12 lakhs. So little over 3 times is the jump. And this involved mobilizing a whole host of people to get this done. Right from top level PSU officers to sales managers to distributors to grassroots women. And then later on, this CIP was applied in both Western India and Eastern India in 5 states to get the refills moving in Ujjwala. This is from a personal, this is for an application from a personal space. This application is from a personal area. This fellow was an avid trekker. He used to trek a lot. However, once he came into a job, he somehow sort of left it. He had gained a lot of weight and he was also smoking a lot. He took on a goal that at the end of the 3 months, he's going to go and trek in the upper reaches of Himalayas in Sikkim. So in a period of 3 days, he was sure that he would be able to trek 12 kilometers given that state of preparation and his body stamina, etc. He was sure to trek about 12 kilometers. And he was like, anything more than 20 kilometers, I cannot do. However, he actually trekked 38.4 kilometers. So a little over 3 times his performance, which was business as usual. This is from a software company. This project manager was interested in first-time defect-free delivery. And they were at the start of the project, they were at 40%. Only 40% of their work was defect-free in the first time. And she took on an incredible goal of 75%, and she actually achieved 85%. So this not only benefited in terms of improving the quality, but it also improved her customer retention and reduced cost, and it got her more customers. This is from a Tata company, and there was a sales executive who was sure to get purchase orders of 3.5 crores. This was a shorter project. When Balaji was coming up with, with the CIP framework, he experimented with various durations of projects. This was a 7-week project. This fellow was sure to get purchase orders worth 3.5 crores. He took on an incredible goal of 17.5 crores. And he actually achieved 20.83 crores. This is very close to my heart. I coach this person also. This is from an NGO in Karnataka. They work with tribal children. They work with tribal children, and this person was working with, he picked out 5 governmental schools. This was in the beginning of 2021 when the Omicron corona was sort of in force. And this fellow had picked out about 49 children whom he thought will not pass the board exam in class 10th. The board exam was going to happen in end of March. This was beginning of January. So he was confident that none of these students can pass the board exam because they were not doing well in English, maths, and science. They were getting like 1, 2, 3 marks like that in these 3 subjects. He took on a goal of 25 or more kids passing the board exam. First a practice exam and then finally the board exam. A practice exam modeled on the board exam. So he took on that goal, and finally 45 out of 49 children passed the board exam in class 10th, all within that period of 3 months. So what do these stories show? That a variety of people have produced quantum leaps in results in short periods of time on a variety of matters in a variety of contexts. And this has been possible with the application of this Causing Incredible Performance framework. So I'm going to spend a little while on what is the framework. The framework has 3 foci: actions, individuals, and results. We say this quite often, that only actions produce results. We may have everything, but if the action is not taken, we may have the resources, may have the talent, we may have the intention, we may have a great team, we may have an opportunity, but unless an action is taken, no result is going to be produced. So our obsessive focus is on actions, and only actions produce results. The framework consists of only 3 things. It's a very simple framework. It consists of 10 action principles and actions under those action principles and tools. Sometimes to take an action, we need a tool. For example, to connect today, we all have needed a tool called the internet or the laptop or mobile. So sometimes to take an action, one needs a tool. And principles by themselves are not enough unless we know what needs to be done to uphold that principle. So there are actions under each action principle. Results are always measurable. So there are often, we are not, when we are thinking of a result area, we may not have a very measurable idea as to how are we going to measure when we actually succeed. So we coach people to come up with measurable results against preset incredible goals. Incredible is as per the person who is taking on that goal. That thing has to look incredible to that person. And we work with organizations all the time. However, each individual takes on a goal that that person takes ownership for and commits to. So what are these 10 action principles? Commit an account, reset mind, be present, simplify, declare an incredible goal, discover a compelling purpose, rally others, execute with ruthless focus, foreview for the future, and overcome obstacles. So every incredible performance that is produced using the CIP framework will have all 10 of these being applied at least once during a course of 3 months. And a typical project begins like this, that someone declares an incredible goal and discovers a compelling purpose, a reason, an intrinsic reason for wanting to achieve that goal, and then gets into action. And the bottom 4 principles need to be applied because they are the foundation action principles. They need to be applied as and when necessary. It's the coach who will tell what is needed when. Reset mind, for example, is one of the most frequently used action principles. Quite often when we are not achieving as much as we would like to, there might be a thought that is stopping us from taking actions or taking inappropriate actions. So how does it work? You know, we have people learn the framework, which is, if it's on premise, it's a 3-day workshop, or it can be online. We prefer, of course, activity-based outbound learning kind of model, where people learn the framework, they get familiar with these 10 action principles in an activity-based learning, and then they take on a real-life project. And they get a coaching every week for achieving. It's a one-on-one coaching. They get a coaching every week to achieve that incredible goal. By doing this, they learn they not only produce the result, they also learn how to produce the result later in life, because they now have the framework with them, which can be applied in any aspect of their life. Some photos here. This is, so after the first workshop, most of the thing happens online. Of course, we also do the first workshop online also. And most of the projects are 3 months. I'm just going to, I've picked out some testimonials. I'm only going to highlight a few words here. People experience drastic improvement, something they can't believe. Groundbreaking approach with multiple constraints. Nothing in the situation of that person who's taken on the goal really changes. It's just everything else is the same. It's just that that person takes on a goal and is coached to achieve the incredible results. It is very simple. There is action research and coaching, meaning the person quite often will learn something in a training program, and then it is up to us how much of that we apply. In our intervention, we have the person learn it and then have the person apply it week by week by week. And we correct or we coach as per the need, so that it's like an action, it's an action research. There's action happening, then there's some correction happening, and then some different results are coming out. It's transformational. One sees these changes because the results are always measurable, and the outcomes are generally very impressive. This lady is reflecting on the coaching experience. So she achieved something that was 4.5 times her business as usual number. What she hadn't been able to do in last 1 year, she was able to do in 3 months. By applying CIP. And what she really valued was that she had more peace of mind also during this period, because the way she was working with her team members transformed through the application of CIP. The team members took ownership. They shared the results instead of she having to follow up with them and then getting stressed about whether they're going to do or not. And in fact, her compelling purpose was peace of mind, free mind. And she experienced that while she was doing this program. So these have been our clients. We work with all kinds of people, government, PSUs, corporate sector, NGOs, academic institutions. results have been more than 85% of the cases people achieve their incredible results. And even when they don't achieve, they go higher than what they would have ordinarily done, what they would have normally done. So the results are wonderful. And we've worked in all kinds of contexts with many IRMANs also, and many non-IRMANs also. So what is open for all of us is that we could cause this incredible performance in our life, in our organization, in our personal life, with our friends or relatives. And also the next opportunity is to also, you could become a coach. I'm not an HR professional at all. So that's not required. And you don't become a life coach by doing this, you become a CIP coach. So, so you could become a coach and a facilitator for this program. That's my invitation to you. So I'm going to stop here with my, presentation. Yeah.
Yes, guys. So, sort of, I guess we are free
Hello.
to interact. Yeah.
Yeah, Ajay here. May I chip in?
Yes,
Yes,
sir, please.
Ajay ji.
The floor is open for everybody. Please.
Yeah. So guys, I'm Ajay Desai. I'm from PRM 16. And most importantly, I have been a participant of a CIP program. Though I had not got the chance to complete the full program, the coaching part, which is the sort of cream, is still pending for me.
Okay.
But I attended the first part, and I must tell everybody the results are incredible, unbelievable. So anybody who is serious about achieving incredible performance should definitely do this course, and not like me, that is the coaching part is postponed. Please do the coaching immediately. That's the game changer.
अजय जी आप अभी भी कर सकते हैं.
Yes. वो उन्होंने बोला है, बालाजी सर ने बोला है, एक कोचिंग मेरे पे उधार रहा.
ये समझ नहीं आया अजय, कोचिंग का मतलब क्या? आपको तो प्रोजेक्ट करना है ना आफ्टर यू टेक द ट्रेनिंग.
तो ये उसके ना दो पार्ट होते हैं. फर्स्ट होता है थियरी पार्ट जो आप सीखते हैं.
हाँ.
एंड देन जब एक्चुअली आप एक प्रोजेक्ट सिलेक्ट करते हो एंड उसको एग्जीक्यूट करते हो, तो एवरी वीक इनिशियली, देन एवरी मंथ और समथिंग में एट सम फ्रीक्वेंसी यू स्पीक टू योर कोच एंड द कोच गाइड्स यू. दिस इज लाइक,
तो आपने प्रोजेक्ट
हाँ,
नहीं किया, ज्ञान लेके बैठ गए घर पे.
सर प्रोजेक्ट किया, बट 3 महीने का प्रोजेक्ट नहीं कर पाया, 1 महीने का प्रोजेक्ट करके टारगेट अचीव किया. So Balaji said, "This is not the way." Yes, I fully agree. There was a organizational constraint that, therefore, I had to take 1 month project back then. Okay. So idea is 3 महीने का प्रोजेक्ट लीजिए, अपने कोच के साथ सीखिए बहुत. It's a life changing experience, to say the least.
तो ये तो ना, मतलब it is almost sounding too good to be true, Nidhi. The stories you are telling and the whole format you are sharing, it sounds too good to be true. So I just want to understand, there must have been failures at the end of the participants. So what kind of those failures are, and why do such failures happen?
Sure. Yes.
So, Nidhi, एक सिर्फ एग्जांपल मैं देता हूँ and then floor over to you.
Sure.
सर, इसके लिए ना थोड़ा strong organizational commitment जरूरी होता है.
Okay.
And I will not quote the name, but I will tell you name of one organization where they adopted this framework. And for more than 50% of their staff, around 20 staff which was undergoing this program, within those 3 months of period, they changed their job descriptions and roles and shifted their teams. So if that happens, then there is no point of doing any coaching or having a target.
Right.
But that might be the exceptional case. Now over to Nidhi.
So in more than 80 to more than 80% cases, we have our participant achieve their goals. But in cases when they don't achieve their goals, I mean, several things happen. One of the most frequent reason is that the person is not regular for the weekly coaching calls. So, agar aayega hi nahi, matlab, see, this is like, our intervention is coaching. The action is taken by the person who is taken on the goal. So if the person doesn't come on calls, does not pursue the goal, then how is it going to happen? So one of the most frequent reason is that they are not regular in the coaching calls. They will miss, they won't come at all, they won't be in communication. Then this happens. As Ajay ji is also saying, very rarely this happens, but this happens. Suppose someone gets transferred or gets a different role. He had declared another goal, and that is no longer that person's KPI. Then he or she is not going to pursue that. That's another reason. In the cases where I have coached and person has not achieved their goal, sometimes this also happens that I remember one case. Sometimes people take on a goal for which they don't have any authority to move things. You know, for example, the goal is about revenue or signing up some customers or something, and you have nothing in your hand in terms of offering, changing the price or changing the product insert or the package of the product or the bundle in which you're selling things. If that person doesn't have the authority for any of, you have to be able to do some changes. Then it becomes difficult, and then they're not also able to persuade their bosses in changing. Then it becomes difficult. Otherwise, I'm saying it is more than 80-85% that people achieve their goals.
And my next question is, what are the costs for individuals or for organizations? Suppose I as an individual wants to undergo, what would be the cost for me? And if the organization maybe wants to organize it for 10, 15, 20 people? Okay.
So before I tell you the cost, I will say we have a very great return on investment, because you can, by choosing the right projects, you can make more money than what you're going to pay us. Okay. So that's the first thing. IRMANs will definitely get a special waiver, but without talking about the waiver, our rough costs are about 1 lakh per participant for the full thing, which is the workshop and the 3 months of coaching.
Right.
We do have lower rates for NGO participants and for NGOs, but broadly it comes to this.
So if an NGO plans to sponsor or send, say, 20 participants, then the rate might be negotiable.
Yes.
Some rebates, some discounts.
Yes.
Right.
See, we do come from this, and Professor Balaji very, very strongly comes from this, that we want people to apply this. So we
how many certified coaches are there in your network?
About 7 or 8. Yeah.
Okay, and what does it mean for oneself to become a coach, as you mentioned in the last slide?
Okay, so what it means is, okay, so to become a CIP coach, there are a few conditions. First condition is that you must produce at least one incredible performance yourself. So you have to go through the program yourself. And after that, you have to observe a round of coaching. Like I'm coaching and you observe. I'm coaching someone else and you're an observer. You also observe the first, what we call module 1, meaning the workshop. So you observe a round of coaching and a workshop. And it's good to observe at least 2 rounds, meaning because different coaches may have different styles. So it's
Right.
good to observe 2 rounds. Once
Right.
you've done that, then you are ready to coach, and we will observe when you are doing your first initial coachings, and we'll support and give you inputs while you are coaching. And so then you'll be you can coach on your own if you want. You can get clients on your own, or you can be part of our network. And when we have larger groups that we are coaching, you could become part of that.
Right. So
And yes,
one is undergoing the whole exercise oneself, then
yes,
attending the being observer to at least 2 rounds
correct.
of batches, I would say, and then one is ready to start coaching under someone's supervision. So maybe about 2 years time frame when
Not
you
even
really.
2 years. It'll be about, I would say, 6, 7 months.
All right. All right.
And in fact, if you count number of hours, so you're putting in about 20 hours in the learning the module 1, 12 hours every week, 1 hour, 12 hours in doing the CIP project. And when you are observing, then also it's about 12 hours plus some debriefing. So, and most of it can be done online other than the module 1. So you can, in your current, whatever you're doing, you can fit this in. I mean, that's how I began. It's only last year that I've completed my work in Ujjwala. And then last year that I started doing this full time. I mean, though I don't work full time, I don't work at all that much. I work for 3-4 days in a week. But this is the only thing I'm doing now.
So are there physical events
Yes.
where NGOs can send people?
Yes.
So you announce those batches, training.
Okay, so mostly we do a batch for an organization. We not an open batch in which people can send for different. But we have done it once or twice. Online open batches we've done, not a physical one, but we can do that. Yeah, mostly the organizations nominate 20-25 people from their own organization, and then the whole program is theirs then.
Okay, I'm done. Thank you so much. Lots of questions.
No, but I think sort of very, very interesting, very good questions, and sort of I got to learn a lot from them. Yeah, I would like to invite anyone else who has questions. Please, sort of come forward. Questions, queries, clarifications, whatever. Yeah. If people want to share experiences from when they underwent the program, some of you are here, I think, so who have undergone the program. I think
Yes.
sort of even hearing it from the horse's mouth is even better.
एक क्वेश्चन और आ रहा है मेरे दिमाग में
Most welcome.
निधि के लिए, ये जो उज्ज्वला वाला एक्सपीरियंस शेयर किया, so who took that goal?
I took that goal.
Okay, you were the person, huh?
Yeah.
ठीक है.
उसके
So
बाद
then I'll like to have a separate session with you to understand the whole journey. It must be a long experience, the ups and downs and challenges. So maybe separate session on that, 1-to-1.
okay, sure.
Yeah,
So,
actually, yeah, Nidhi,
go
please
ahead, Vaibhav. Go ahead.
No, I was just wondering, sort of, I think, sort of, it makes a lot of sense in the sense that Rajesh ji was asking and inquiring. I think so, sort of maybe for NGOs to come together and do workshops where there are diverse set of people and people with more than one NGO coming together, NGO organizations, development organizations, non-development organizations coming together and doing it might actually also be a great idea, sort of we have learnings from the same context, but, even if there are learnings across the context, because what I am feeling is that probably the framework is context agnostic.
Correct.
It does not depend on what the context is, right? Because I think so
Correct.
the actions are being taken by individuals, right? And correct me, sort of, Nidhi, if I'm getting it wrong.
You're
because-
bang on. Yeah, you're
Okay.
completely right. Yeah.
So basically, and I think so, you structured the examples very well, that it could be a personal hobby, it could be my personal goal, it could be my personal organizational goal, it could be an organization's goal. And I think, so, different levels. So, even if I'm living and I want to do something in and around my society, something like that could be, sort of, it could be useful for that. If I want to turn around an organization, I'm a CEO, or, somewhere there, I'm on the board of an organization, it could still be useful. Am I getting it right?
Completely getting it right. Yes. See, I mean, there are so many things that we want to do in life, and sometimes we are not able to prioritize. Or we are not able to we think that when we are free, then we are going to do that thing. But what CIP really helps in is that within the time that you have available, you're able to produce much bigger results, and also fit it along with so many other things in the life, like the government doctor, nothing else in their life stopped just because they had taken on a CIP project. And that's the same thing with everyone. It's not that your organization or your family or other demands on your time are going to change just because you took on a CIP goal. So it allows you to do things which are significant to you to achieve those goals, even when it looks like there is no time,
Yeah.
or yeah.
Interestingly, so Lisa ji has mentioned that, we are sort of limiting the discussion to NGOs. It's not that, right? So let's bring the corporate context into it, and one thing I find is, it's very fashionable in corporates to say that, when do I want to get these things done? And the answer these days fashionably is yesterday. Right. And in that type of a context, how do we really apply CIP? Because what I'm seeing is there's sort of a 3-month commitment, organizational commitment, that Ajay ji was also talking about and seeing it. So how do you really apply this in a corporate context? Let's get specific to that.
Okay, so we've had people in corporate context also apply CIP. It works the same way. In fact, I'll give you one example. NCDX, several people from NCDX went through this program, our all Sanjay Sinha's organization. And we are open to having them take on shorter goals also. It's not that the goal has to be 3 months. People can do 6 weeks, 8 weeks also. So it's just that when we will calculate what is the normal goal, right? The person will calculate what will be the normal goal, or what would they ordinarily achieve. They will keep that time frame in mind, which is what is it that they're ordinarily going to do in a period of 6 weeks. In fact, one of the examples I shared was a 6-week project. So we are open to that. However, our experience is that whether people are coming from corporate or coming from NGOs, 3 months is like a sweet period of time. It allows them to really encounter, anybody who takes on an incredible goal will have obstacles for sure. We can give it in writing upfront. Obstacles will come. Okay.
Yeah, and generally, if corporates are large, probably they also have a hierarchy that somebody has to take care of in making decisions.
Right. Sometimes corporates like everyone to be working on a single goal or same type of result area. Maybe geographies will be different, or the customer segments will be different. And like you said, Weber, the framework is context agnostic. I'll give you an example. I coached people from a software company. I had no clue what they were doing. Okay. So
yeah. Lisa has a message for you.
Lisa has a question.
Yeah. Can't we have an organizational departmental goal and then align it? And then align
we can.
CIP goals. Yeah.
Yes. We've done that also, and we can definitely do this, Lisa. For example, in Ujjwala program, we had batches of people going through the program, and all their result area was about number of refills or number of digital payments, or number of digital bookings. So several people have the same result area. So it is all adding up to the larger organizational goal. So it's very, very possible, and it can be done. One thing I want to say that the organization tells the result area, but the organization does not tell what should be the goal. What should be the number,
Okay, so probably the organization only conveys the organizational goal.
Like a KRA, whatever is your KRA,
Right,
So,
right. Yeah, so
that is what the organization will say.
okay, so I probably have a sales revenue which the organization has given me as a target.
Yes. And once in a while, people are surprised that people want to take on goals which are bigger than what their boss wants them to take.
Okay.
That also happens. Yes.
Okay, so this is interesting. Okay. Yeah, so maybe, I'm looking for a fast promotion or something, fast tracking my career. Maybe then it makes sense, I would have a lot of interest in meeting beyond, going beyond the expectations, making a mark.
Yes.
Very true. Very true.
And see, normally nobody would agree to an increase in performance by more than 15%, 20% on why would someone agree, like if the boss tells them to do it?
I think so, especially, what Lisa has pointed out in the corporate context, that is very important because, corporate context, when target setting is happening, I am probably balancing two things. Okay, how much am I, sort of promising, and what is going to be the repercussion if I don't achieve it? And what is the reward that I'm going to get if I do achieve it? I think, sort of those both answers to both the questions have a lot at stake in how much do I, seek a jump.
Yeah. CIP gives one, if I can call it, courage, because people declare goals which are 3, 4 times or 5 times, or when the base is very small, sometimes people do 100 times also. Okay. Or where they expected 0, they expect something. It's like an infinite increase in performance. So it does give people that courage, and it's not that we pick up the best people for CIP program. I mean, quite often in training programs, you don't necessarily send the best people,
Okay.
So, so we get the ordinary folks who go through the program, and we are not particular about who.
Okay, so so I stand corrected. It's not only something that we're looking at fast tracking careers and individuals who are high performers coming into this program. Very, very ordinary performers, so-called ordinary performers,
correct,
might also come into the program and benefit. Nidhi, what I heard you saying was that it gives me courage. Now, if there's something which is context or agnostic and gives me courage, then probably I hear you trying to say that probably CIP is something that sort of becomes a way of life for people who undergo the program. Would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, sure.
I also wanted to ask the same question, ki thoda in a more lighter and desi touch, ki bhai सब लोग घोड़े बन के घोड़े ही रहते हैं, वापस गधे हो जाते हैं थोड़े दिन बाद.
मैं अभी इसका जवाब देती हूँ. लीसा बोलना चाहती हैं.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Lisa.
After listening to you, Nidhi, I got confused. When I came first time, I see Rajesh and Rajesh was talking. I thought I'm in the wrong meeting group. Okay. So now to Rajesh thing, I did one share with Professor Balaji, which was completely into sales. But now I want to do one more with Nidhi. It's been pending for a long time. I'll tell you why. Now, Rajesh was just saying, everybody wants to run like a horse. But let me tell you, there are many people who just want to sit and meditate.
Okay.
That can be also your target,
Okay. Yes.
right?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what Nidhi is trying to tell us is that this is an individual choice. I doubt if everybody got it right. The organization may set a goal, but the individual's goal in CIP cannot be touched upon. That is an individual's choice. Right? Nidhi, am I correct?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is something what I have learned from doing this once. And as Nidhi would also agree and say that she keeps on doing such, projects. CIP, the goals she keeps target setting she does almost every year for 1 or 2 very crucial points which she wants to achieve. So doing months doesn't mean that it's all over. Right? In life, you may want to get so many things. And you start, so small. It may be as small as a desire to just sit silently for 2 hours every day. If I'm hyper, and I want to just, make my brain be silent for 2 hours, that is a big objective of life, right? So as the other side, it is not just about achieving some targets in terms of in monetary terms or material gains. It can be anything. It can be a spiritual pursuit as well. Right, Nidhi? Am I correct?
You are 100% correct, Lisa.
Thank you so much. And I am looking forward to do my CAP again with you. Hopefully it should happen very soon. Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Before I get back to
Thank
Rajesh ji, I'm getting a wild thought. I think you guys are trying to say that just like rich dad, poor dad used to teach our generation that we must retire early. CIP could be a very interesting way that you achieve your goals and retire early. Yeah, but I think
Yes.
Rajesh ji had a very interesting question. How does it really happen? And what Lisa is saying also is very interesting. It prompts the question that do people have to go project after project of CIP? Is it a game changer, something like becomes a way of life, or how does it, what's the experience generally been?
Okay.
It doesn't have to be one way. I'm sure there's the many experiences.
Correct. So after going through one CIP project, you do know the framework and you can apply it anywhere. However, one of our fundamental lines is only actions produce results. So just knowing the framework is not enough unless you take on another goal. You don't necessarily need another coach or another cycle of CIP coaching. However, if you're not able to do it by yourself, this is, it happens, we know this, but it doesn't automatically become a habit. Some actions within the CIP project do become a habit, not the full framework. So we have over 50 actions in our CIP handbook. I'll give you an example that people, there's one action principle called rally others, and the actions under it are that you specify the result you want from each person whose support you need unambiguously. That might become your habit, or you may want to make it your habit, because there are people who struggle with certain things. Okay, I'm very great at doing my work, but I find it difficult to get support from others or get my team members to do what I want them to do. So that is something one has to deliberately take it on. So the word causing that we have in causing incredible performance is defined very clearly, that making something happen deliberately and not letting it happen. So I would not say that it's automatic that you do one project and then in every aspect of your life, you're going to be producing extraordinary performances. However, if you do make them your goals, you will. And we always offer this to anybody who goes through our coaching, that for the rest of your life, whenever you want to take on another CIP goal, please feel free to reach out to us. See, the framework is actually very simple. It's just the way it has been put together. That package is what makes it unique. And our experience in getting people to produce results is what makes it unique. Okay. So still, I think like currently I am undergoing my 7th CIP project. So Balaji is coaching me and I've taken on a CIP project. So it does, for some of us, it becomes like that we like that support. It's like having support in achieving your own goals. And as Lisa was saying, the goals can be about anything. Like we had one medical doctor, she was in charge of ICU. Her goal was about number of quality hours she spent every week with her children.
Wow.
So
Very interesting.
it's a thing that many of us want to do, and it just slips, because we are like in the professional life, there are structures and everything that keep you on track. But in family life, sometimes you don't have those structures. And if the profession is very, very busy, it'll suck you,
And I think so these days, even if the profession is not busy, the hustle thing that is going on, I think so,
Correct,
people want to keep themselves busy. Yes.
Right. So करने से ही होगा, बिना करे नहीं होगा.
Okay, that's good. I hope Rajesh ji, this answers, sort of your query to some extent at least.
Yes, got it.
Yeah. Anyone, yeah, I've actually, sort of been knowing CIP for some time, in the sense, not knowing it, in the
Yes.
sense I've been hearing about it, and, I miss those training
I've
programs.
been sending you those WhatsApp messages.
Yes, sort of. And, sort of,
Yeah.
I think so, sort of one of the things, I would like to take my own case over here, and one of the things that I find is that, a lot of us are caught up in things. And probably, sort of, even though we might want to need that help, we might want to need that support, right? I think so, somewhere it's the web that we have created for ourselves currently that keeps us from it. And, sort of, how does Atulya performance, sort of come in and help in us, sort of get out of that web and reach CIP?
Okay. So one of our action principles is simplify. And the top 2 actions in that are ask, listen, and learn, which you guys are doing today. So
Okay.
you've already taken the first step. And the second one is request support. So which we think it's so obvious, but many of us really are very, very hesitant in requesting support.
Yes, I'm sure, sort of, though I find, one thing that I've always liked about the IRMA community is that we always have somebody eager, available, and resourceful to support. I think so, sort of, I would rate that, making these 3 things come together is a great achievement that the IRMA community has achieved. And,
Definitely,
sort of,
yeah.
And so, sort of, I think so, sort of that comes in very, very useful. I think so the last, you save the best for the last. Ask, listen, listen and learn, and request for support. Right? I think so that's a perfect note. If nobody has any other query or comment to make to close the day for today, I think so it's Saturday and stuff. And I think so, sort of, so guys, I think so I'm closing with that. Ask, listen, learn, and request for support. And Nidhi is over here, sort of, and you can reach out to her. And even Neeraj Garg, and obviously Balaji, Professor Balaji is there. I remember meeting Professor Balaji and telling him, you've tortured us with a lot of cases in class. He did teach us, but we did get tortured by his cases in class. and as it would happen, Professor Balaji asked me, then you are like Eklavya and you must give me Guru Dakshina. Okay, guys. So I'll just close. I'm closing this.
Let's just ask Ritu if she has to make the closing remarks or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Some people have just now joined, so
Yeah. No, I think so. Ritesh has sent sent a message.
Yes,
And
correct,
so-
correct, correct.
Yeah, so I'll just do the word of thanks on officially, sort of, and sort of first and foremost, I would like to thank Nidhi for taking out time, for also getting me into this over here. I think so, sort of my journey into CIP is just starting out with this thing. But Nidhi, I think it's been wonderful listening this, because I think so, sort of I have found that actually, when I go through the context of the IRMA alumni groups and stuff, I think so there are a lot of us who need this support. I hope this video reaches out to many, many more people. There are many of us who need coaching, who need a lot of personalized support, context agnostic support at times in our personal lives, in our professional lives. And I think, this could be one of the ways that people could benefit from. It could be very, very helpful. And I hope, sort of it reaches out to a lot many people. So, thanks a lot for bringing this on the table. And I would also like to thank the IRMA Alumni Association for, sort of diligently doing these talks, bringing us together, getting us in, and, organizing it, I think so flawlessly, perfectly well, and, sort of making a great weekend for many people. Because, most of us probably we are busy in our lives. It's just another weekend for us. But for somebody who gets something out of this, I think so this is a weekend par excellence. Thanks a lot to IA, Nidhi, and everybody who's attended. Thanks for being a great audience over here and, helping us run through this session beautifully. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Sure.